Welcome back. We have progressed somewhat in that we've got all the LEDs on and we've got the two arcs attached. Do's and don'ts. Don't do anything I say. Now when it came to attaching these arcs, what I did was on the uppermost side, as I showed before, I put good blobs of four good blobs of solder, so when these went into the slot they lined up. Well, they did at the top, and bridging those went pretty straightforward. All the bridges on the bridges there and all the bridges there went pretty well, and the other side, but the underside, because I just relied on the blobs, they dropped a little further, so there was more to bridge with no metal pad to bridge to. It was difficult, but it was doable. I bridged them all except for one side, and I had to use bits of tails of LEDs and whatever to make little bits of metal to bridge them, and that was only on that side there, those. So other than that, that went pretty alright. I had made a mistake when attaching the connector for programming. I read what it said on the top here and I took it was this connection, but it isn't. It's this connection over here. So I've got two headers on mine now, so watch out for that. The other thing I've done is add on the balance weights, and I've got everything on there that's going. The brass pillars, two nuts on the end of each one, and a screw at the top, and that pretty well balances it, except for the extra little bit of soldering I've done today. I'm putting those bits of wire to bridge the joint. It's just slightly out of balance now, so what I'm going to do, was there anything else before no, that's all I wanted to say about that. So I'll just zoom out for a second and pull the camera that way a bit. And what I'm going to do, as you can see, I've got a piece of brass rod up its orifice, and I'm putting it on the edge of the bench to see how it balances. And as you can see, it's going down this end. Well, I've put all the weights I've got on it, so what I was just going to try and do was put a bit of hot glue on it and see if that would be enough. It's not far out, it doesn't go all the way down, but it just sags that side, and the more in balance it is, the better it's going to be. So I'm just going to run a blob of hot glue up there, and we'll now see how it balances. It's not dropping down anymore, and it's coming back up to about level, so I'll call that quits. It's balanced. Right, the other things I have found out. So we can dispense with the balance now. Push the camera back. Pull that out. Right, the inductive coil. Make sure when you hot glue it on, you don't get any hot glue above the coil at all, anywhere. It's all got to be below it. And the other thing is, on the inductive coil, one of the wires is folded over the top, so that's about 1/2 mil sticking up, because you've got to get the other coil in very close proximity. The gap is only about maximum 3 mil. And again, on this one, you've got the crossover bit of wire on the connector, which adds 1/2 mil. So you've got to allow for that. So I think I'm allowing between 2.5 and 3 mil when I'm pushing them together. So you've got to allow for that. The other thing is, you've got to tuck everything hard up against, all the wires hard up against the motor, because the back end of this one is very curved, as you can see, and I haven't got it upside down, I don't think. No, I haven't got it upside down. This bit is quite curved and it's tucking right underneath, and anything that's close to them pillars it will catch. So we will pop him on. As I say, got to push him down as close as you can to the other coil without it catching, and beware of those 2 wires that cross the coil. Keep your eye open for them, and it's them that judge the amount of gap you can have. There I've probably got about 1/2 mil between the wires. Whether that's enough for the inductive bit to work, we will soon find out. Right, now got a test, and first of all I put 5 volts to the programming pins, to the VCC and the ground, and it then will run through a test sequence which lets you know if A, it's alive, and B, if you've managed to solder on all your LEDs. So we'll put the ground on there, and we'll just touch the live on here. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you can see the LEDs walking down both sides. So I seem to have connection to all the LEDs. This is the first time I've tested it after finishing the bridging. I did test it before the bridging, and I was getting all the LEDs on the top surface but nothing underneath. But now they're walking all the way down to the bottom. Right, off. So the process is running, and all the LEDs are connected. I don't seem to have got one out at the minute. And next thing is I'm plugging in my 5 volts from the USB cable I've got into here. Again, if your inductive coil is close enough, it should light up. There we go. So the inductive coil is close enough, and I'm obviously holding it back from the motor. But as you can see there, we're walking down all the LEDs. Right, we will now release it. Woo! And as before, I've got a display. It's hard to say what the display is, but it's a display. But I've got nothing on the blue, and this is what I had before, even before I finished it. Although I had a lot of the LEDs working, I could only get the red display. And when I press a button on the controller's working as well. It's changed display, but I've still got no blue lights. I've got the time there scrolling round, and it's running fairly vibration free. It's running quite well like that. Let's see the display coming round. Not very clear, is it? Probably if I switched out some of the lights it might help. Anyway, so we've got the inner display running quite well, and it seems to be quite well balanced. It's not vibrating too badly, but I've got nothing on the blue display, and if I press that button, nothing happens. Nothing. The last one I had, the flat one, it displayed things on all the buttons, running horses and all sorts, but anyway, that's it so far. I've got to figure out why we haven't got anything on the outer display. Weird that, because when it boots up, as you can see, all the LEDs illuminate. So I'll have to try programming it, see if that makes any difference. It did change display once, but it ain't changing display again. So switch it off. So it's running. So I'll try programming it. I'll set the programmer up and we'll have a go at that. Not holding out a great hope. I can't understand why when it's in boot up mode, switch that one out and switch that one off. It's in boot up mode. Sorry. That's not boot up mode. I'll have to wait for it to reset. I'll try it again. I'll come back in a minute.